like to welcome our honored guest, Mr. Dr. Sanchez, the superintendent of TUSD, to come and speak to you. Thank you.
Soon to be graduates, it's with great pride that I'm going to take the next few minutes to just share a short story and then a little bit of advice. So I'm going to ask you a couple of questions before I get into the story. How many of you will be the first in your families to go on to college or university study? Raise your hand. At one point in time, when I was sitting in your seat, that question was asked of me, and I raised my hand. I, like many of you, I was the first to go to college. I'm the son of a Mexican immigrant who served in the armed forces and is very proud of the home from which he came and the new home that he made here in the United States. He instilled in me a deep understanding that the great equalizer, the one thing that can't be taken away from you, is your education. Because you can lose your job, but you can never lose your education. And as long as you have your education, you have your dignity. And as long as you have your education and your dignity, then there's nothing that you can't accomplish. When I was a very young student in elementary school, the language I studied, or the language I struggled with, was English. I was placed into classes to help me learn English. And I resolved to myself at that point in time that I would learn English at such a level that I'd have more right to speak it than the people who said I couldn't speak English well. I went to Angelo State University in 1993 when I graduated with honors. And I'm wearing the red cords and the red medallion because I was a member of the English Honor Society because my bachelor's degree is in English. The reason I tell you that story is the things oftentimes that you fear, the things that you feel you're not good at, the things that you try to avoid, you shouldn't. You should embrace them. You should look them in the eye and you should go through them. In life, there will be many challenges that will face you. There will be many barriers that will stand before you. And you have to think to yourself, am I better than this? And you have to resolve to yourself, yes, you are. Because if you were, you wouldn't be sitting here today looking as handsome and as beautiful as you do. And your parents wouldn't be sitting in these stands as proud of you as they are today. My very simple advice to you is this. After you're done celebrating this evening, after you're done taking your pictures and shaking and the hands of your friends and hugging each other, I want you to take some time tomorrow when you have a quiet moment, and I want you to write down who you are. I want you to write down what you believe. I want you to write down what you stand for, and I want you to write down what you will accomplish in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years. I want you to write that down. And whenever times get tough, whenever you're struggling to make a decision, whenever you feel that you can't overcome something, I want you to, number one, look at your Pueblo High School diploma, because you did that. And number two, I want you to look at what you wrote down. Write it in a family Bible, write it in your favorite book, write it in your yearbook. I want you to look at that And I want that to give you the reassurance that there's nothing you can't do. And when you feel you've gone off track, look at the goal that you wrote down for yourself and put yourself back on track to accomplish that 5-year goal, to accomplish that 10-year goal. That's your last homework assignment. In closing this section in English, because I'm going to try to do Spanish too, what I want you to do when you feel that amazing rush that comes to your hands when you're handed the diploma and you shake Dr. Romero's hand and you take the picture, I want you to remember how good that feels. And I want you to say, in 2 years, if I'm going to a community college, I'm going to feel that way. In 4 years, if I go to a university, I'm going to feel that way. When I get that great job, I'm going to feel that way. When I finish basic training and I'm serving this nation, I'm going to feel that way. I want you to remember that feeling because it's hard-earned and that's what makes it special. Cuando hablo español, primero tengo que compartir que soy de Texas y no hablo castellano, hablo tejano. So, si hay unas palabras que piensas, ¿qué está diciendo este hombre? Pues es una palabra en tejano, pero hay chance que no es una palabra en castellano. So, solamente quiero decir gracias para todo que ustedes han hecho para apoyar estos alumnos aquí enfrente, porque sin tu apoyo, ellos no están aquí. Sin usted poniendo la regla en la casa, ellos no van a estar aquí. Ustedes son el ejemplo. Y gracias por ser el ejemplo bueno en la casa. En este momento es el tiempo que todos nuestros alumnos aquí tienen que ser el buen ejemplo para sus hermanos y hermanitas, para sus vecinos y la comunidad, porque ustedes son un gran luz en la comunidad, porque ustedes tienen algo especial, ustedes tienen un futuro muy brilloso. Gracias y felicidades.